Hello, my friends. We are almost at 4,000 subscribers, so thank all of you for your support. It really means a lot. I'm going to be having the monthly Patreon and members hangouts starting Wednesday, December 14th at around 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you are one of my Patreons or a member of my channel, you'll get a notification via email. Again, thank all of you for your comments and for sharing my videos. It really helps for this channel to grow. Anyways, on with the video. Recently, Vanessa Hudgens, whoever that is, was on a tour promoting her upcoming movie, Dead Hot, Season of the Witch. Anytime a famous person talks about ghost hunting or practicing any kind of paranormal activity, these pearl clutchers have to climb up onto their tired old soapbox and preach to the masses of the dangers of witchcraft. But they never actually cite any real-world or tangible results. Instead, they rely upon the testimonies of ex-psychics that are promoting their own books. It's all one continuous circle jerk of Christianity good and all other religions bad. Anyway, I hope you enjoy.
So, Mike, here we are again. We've got another one of these incidents we need to talk about. It's actress Vanessa Hudgens. She was recently on the Kelly Clarkson show talking about this issue of sort of dabbling into the occult and witchcraft.
So wait, is it true that you have a new passion in life? Are you obsessed with ghosts? I hear you are.
It's not really a new passion.
Okay, we're just finding out.
You're just kind of like finding out.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I've accepted the fact that like...
I think she's using this as a gimmick to further her relevance, but I could be wrong. That's just my gut feeling. And my gut, depending upon what I ate, might be wrong. And I did eat chili prior to making this response, so take that as you may. It was black bean turkey chili. That's right, Texans. I put beans in my chili. Come at me, bro.
Yeah, come at me, bro.
I see things and I hear things.
Wait,
and
do you
rather than
really?
being...
You've had like experiences?
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them over the years. Like even as a child growing up, like I remember being like getting ready for school when I was 8 years old, and there was like, you know those ducks that like is like the duck thing that you pull to toy?
Yeah.
There was one of those on the dining room table, and I started walking, and it just started like going alongside me, and I was like, interesting.
Now, I tend to lean toward the skeptical side of things. Did you accidentally pull it along? Did someone else activate it? Did you look into other possibilities before jumping to the conclusion that it was due to supernatural phenomenon? That is, assuming this event occurred as you described it. Sometimes we can fool ourselves, or even want to be fooled.
And I kind of shut it down for a while because, like, it's scary. Like, the unknown is scary. So you can't.
Yeah.
But I recently was like, no, this is like a gift and like something that I have the ability to do. So I'm gonna lean into it. And I recently did my first like real paranormal investigation, like with equipment and everything.
What equipment? Like a flux capacitor? Like what are we talking about here? Like what?
A flux capacitor? Don't be silly. She's not time traveling in a DeLorean.
What kind of equipment?
There's a lot. There's so much on the market, genuinely.
What?
But like my favorite thing is called a spirit box.
Okay.
And it basically scans radio frequencies really quickly. You want to do it in like more of a rural place so it doesn't pick up stations. And like if you put on AM, it just sounds like static. But something about the electricity that it creates allows spirits to speak through it.
Oh.
A fool and his money are soon parted. It scans frequencies quickly, so it picks up random noises and words from transmissions, so that the user can interpret these as communications.
So I was sitting at a tombstone in a graveyard with my best friend.
Because that's what we do. That's what.
Well, if you're trying to find ghosts, like
you know
go to the graveyard.
Yeah.
And
is this at nighttime or?
Yeah, nighttime, pitch black.
Wow, we're different.
And we found this one tombstone of a spirit that we were told is very playful. Oh. So I turn it on. I'm like, hi, Sam. I'm Vanessa. This is Gigi.
If I was a disembodied spirit, I would not be hanging out in a graveyard. I'd be spooking all the people I didn't like when I was alive. I'd be chasing them with toy ducks.
I'm like, I'm not very good at this. I'm like, you're Sam.
I am so into doing this. Wow.
And then Gigi goes, Sam, can you tell us our names? What are our names? And then we just hear, shh, Vanessa, shh.
No.
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 Yeah.
Did you run then?
No. No, I was like, cool. Do you have anything else that you want to tell me? And I just hear, shh, nope.
It may be worth mentioning that these events might be a little exaggerated to generate interest in her upcoming movie project. I mean, it's not like actors lie for a living.
And I was like, okay, cool. Well, thank you. You have to like tell them to stay because you don't want spirits to follow you.
Or do you?
No.
So if you tell a disembodied spirit to stay, are they forever frozen in that spot for all eternity? That doesn't seem very nice. What happens if they have to pee or activate a toy duck? And now back to the video with Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Now she is coming out with a film, and the film is called Dead Hot Season of the Witch, documenting this journey into the occult and witchcraft.
From an Us Magazine interview, Dead Hot Season of the Witch is an intimate journey into the supernatural realm that serves as a coming-of-age story that explores identity, feminine power, and sisterhood. A description on the film's Instagram page reads, "It's entertainment first." That right there tells me this is more fiction than fact. I don't mean to dismiss either of these ladies' spiritual beliefs or practice, but I'm thinking the producers are more focused on making that dollar rather than portraying what and who modern witches are today. The article goes on, but there's a real personal spiritual journey that they both have together. It's so emotionally raw that it really created such a beautiful narrative. It's a lot about female empowerment.
Well, I mean, Satan is on a mission to normalize the demonic.
Satan is? Or are Christians such as yourselves finding the demonic in everything?
Because the more influencers and people that he can get to normalize the demonic, the easier it is to get the masses to receive it in their lives. And so this is a concerted effort.
Simply seeing a movie on witchcraft will not convert anyone over to witchcraft. And if they do, most of those people who dabble in it tend to drop it just as fast as they picked it up. If they don't find any meaning in their practice, they grow uninterested and move on to something else. Or at least that is my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because the president of Boonham Murray Productions, that's the production company behind this, they talked about how, Hudgens has done little bits of witchcraft. I think she said doing little spells since she was a kid, and that she has a real connection with reaching the spirit realm.
Again, I tend to lean toward the fact that they are hyping this up a bit. But if they find something they are looking for in exploring their path, then more power to them. As someone who has dealt with anxiety, depression, and what I believe to be psychic phenomenon, being able to use certain techniques I have learned helped me greatly. However, I do not recommend this for everyone. Depression and anxiety can be very debilitating, so I would consult a licensed professional and not a devil card on the internet.
A lot of people will laugh this off, right? They'll say, this is just, spooky Halloween stuff. It's not real.
Not real.
What do you say to those people?
I tell those people that modern day witchcraft is not the same as how witches are usually portrayed in Hollywood, Bible, or the Malleus Maleficarum. There is a great deal of diversity of thoughts and expression in witch circles.
Well, for as many people are laughing it off, there's actually many, many more who have had experiences like this.
And many exploit that for self-aggrandizement, their own ego, and for clout within Christian circles. And then there are many who lie and just make it up.
Unfortunately, as a pastor and someone who understands the Bible, you are not talking to a demon. You're actually talking to a familiar spirit.
Hey, some of us will talk with unfamiliar spirits too. But as you just admitted, you are looking at these practices through a biased lens of your Bible.
Posing as a demon. And so again, these demons come in the form of family members and loved ones that have passed on. And we think that we're communicating with them, but in fact, we're actually communicating with a demon. The Bible talks about this over and over and over again, and we cannot be in a position where we can be deceived by the devil. And unfortunately, so many people are curious about the supernatural that the more it becomes normalized, the wider that door opens and the more people walk right through it.
Right. Well, maybe your God shouldn't have left the door wide open. You and your kind sure do make the Satan figure very powerful. God can't show people he exists, and yet a movie about witchcraft will turn people into godless Satan worshippers. Growing up, I saw Moses, Ben-Hur, Noah, and countless other biblical-based movies, and yet I didn't become a Christian. Weird.
It's interesting too, absolutely to everything you just said, but a lot of people, when we talk about this, it's easy to get sort of angry and frustrated about it as believers because you're watching somebody like this who has such a huge following.
Why are you getting angry? There are plenty of Christians who have huge followings on social media. Christian channels all over YouTube have double digits, even triple digit subscribers. On digital TV, there are many Christian-based channels.
Literally walk people into this, right? Because they're
literally walking people into this? Your definition of walking is just as sloppy as your use of the term literally.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Going to dive into it. This isn't a fictitious, fictional thing. She is apparently, from what we understand, going on this journey and documenting it for people. But
in the movie that is coming out and that she is promoting, yes.
One of the things, and I'd love for you to react to this, I was talking with an ex-psychic recently.
Yeah, an ex-psychic who was promoting her book. But I am sure that had nothing to do with it.
So Jen, you spent years in the occult. You're an ex-psychic and you're now a Christian, and we're going to get into that in a bit. But you have a book coming out.
The next book is Out of the New Age and Into the Truth.
And by the way, did she predict she would become a Christian? Because if she did not foresee it, she wasn't much of a psychic.
And she became a believer, and she was explaining how a lot of people, they will assume that these are evil people, these psychics, they're terrible people, their goals are malicious and evil. But unfortunately, a lot of times these are people who actually believe, these psychics and people going into the occult, that they're helping people in some way. They think they're doing a good thing.
Ah, she was a psychic to help others. And how much did she charge for helping others?
I found that kind of interesting because I had never really thought of it that way. Do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all throughout scripture, witchcraft actually shows up as counterfeit comfort and counterfeit power.
Which scripture reads that exactly? And are you talking about the countless mistranslations of the word witch in the King James Version of the Bible?
I mean, it's always going to show up in a form to make you think, oh, this is how I'm going to meet the love of my life. This is how I'm going to prosper financially. This is how I'm going to excel in life. It always comes in the form of success. The devil is in the blessing business too.
Well, I can't speak for all witches, but that is not why I got into witchcraft.
And he will use witchcraft as a form of blessing. Oh, this finally settled it for me. I've been wanting to hear from Dad who passed away, and he gave me a message from the other side. And, Vanessa Hudgens has talked about using different devices to actually communicate with the dead or to communicate directly to demons.
She didn't mention anything about communicating with demons. She mentioned using a spirit box, which is nothing but a quick scanning of AM radio frequencies that captures sounds, and random stations, which can be used as a sort of audio pareidolia, where you perceive words or phrases in sounds that seem similar. I look at spirit boxes the same as Ouija boards. Toys that are used for fun.
And has just made this the most normal thing. It's almost lighthearted. She's being interviewed and she's laughing in the interviews, and unsuspecting teenagers, young people from every generation are like, yeah, you know what? I need to have an experience like that too.
Of course she's laughing. And by the way, what a laugh she has. You do realize she is on this talk show to promote a movie that she stars in, right? Oh, those poor, unsuspecting teenagers that are going to explore witchcraft, the horror.
And really the person who's having the last laugh is Satan and all of his demonic minions.
Of course it's Satan. You know who else will be laughing? The movie producers. They will be laughing all the way to the bank. That is, assuming this movie will make a profit.
Yeah, I mean, in her mind, I would imagine this is harmless and interesting. She's diving into something, right, that she finds, fun and intriguing.
Oh, no, we can't have people having fun and finding something other than your holy book is intriguing. Oh, Lord, teenagers having fun. Next, they'll be sacrificing babies on an altar to Baal.
She's apparently had these experiences throughout her life. And again, I think as believers, if we're going to engage in this, not in those activities, obviously, but in talking with people or about people who are doing this to try to prevent people from doing it.
Why are you wanting to prevent people from exploring something they find fun and intriguing? Why do you Christians, and by the way, hashtag not all Christians, but why does your brand of Christianity always want to control other people? You want to control what medical procedures they can and cannot have, who they can marry, and what beliefs they can hold. Could you just mind your own business for once?
Yes, I'm so sorry to say that I woke up to a picture of tarot card readings in an elementary school that happened among one of my church members. And he was just shocked and appalled and said, for just a harvest celebration in a local school, I mean, this is an elementary school, they were doing tarot card readings with kindergartners.
Kindergartners? How are 4 to 7-year-olds supposed to understand what a tarot card is, let alone understand the symbolism? You mentioned this was for Halloween. Maybe they were there for decorations. Either way, tarot cards, despite your bigoted bias, are not harmful to anyone.
And so I think what happens is sometimes when you make a stand against the demonic, it almost seems like we're so extreme, there go the Christians again, always making a big deal. But what happens is what we tolerate in one generation, it literally becomes acceptable in the next generation, and then it becomes celebrated and in the generation after that. And so just a couple generations in, we have kindergartners and local elementary schools doing tarot card readings with their teachers. It's absolutely insane.
We should have them reading the Bible in school, right? I support a secular education system. I don't think a school should be teaching tarot readings or the Bible in school. That's outside of the realm of education, unless used for historical context.
But if that same teacher were to actually open the Bible and start reading the Bible to their student, they would be fired for proselytizing their student. And so any other form of witchcraft can come right in, any other form of the occult can come in. But when the real thing through Jesus Christ comes in, it reveals that you are dealing with something anti-Christ.
Assuming this teacher was teaching their students to read tarot cards and it was not part of some Halloween decoration, then yes, I would agree with you. That has no place in the classroom, unless used in a historical context. Part of these circle jerk sessions is lamenting, oh, woe is me, we are so persecuted because we can't proselytize the kids in school. Meanwhile, they spread fear and lies about minority beliefs and religions. Well, until next time, my friends, I will see you in hell, you heathens.